Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah.
Would you,
I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would.
The craziest thing about so many people being duped into believing every lie Donald Trump tells is that he's not even very good at it. So quick to agree to declassifying 9/11 files and the JFK files, but he hesitates and gives some inconsistent excuses to avoid declassifying the Epstein files before cautiously then agreeing to it.
Donald Trump says that he knew Epstein and he was with Epstein at certain times, called him a fine guy. What do you think of that?
It's up for debate. It's your opinion.
What about Bill Clinton? What do you think of Bill Clinton being on that list?
We're not going to discuss that one. That one's off limits.
Even his most loyal supporters don't really believe he's being completely honest about his association with Jeffrey Epstein, but he's demanded their allegiance to him, and that outweighs all that talk about sex traffickers and children being harmed.
We're starting to hear in the news about Jeffrey Epstein and a lot of those names being revealed and who was with it. It turns out that while Bill Clinton took some trips with him, we also are learning that Donald Trump has said some nice things about him and spent some time with him. Does that bother you?
It would bother me if he wasn't honest about it, because all of us have done things we shouldn't have done. But I do hope no children were involved, though that would make me mad.
She's like, well, as long as he was involved in a sex trafficking ring that only victimized grown women and he avoided the little girls that were being trafficked, I'm cool with it. And by the way, Trump occupied the White House when Epstein was finally caught, arrested, and eventually died in jail. So why didn't he declassify all the files then, since he's vowing to do it if he's elected again? Maybe because he has no plans to do it, because it hits a little too close to home.
I still think Jeffrey Epstein is a terrific guy.
Well, I knew him like everybody in Palm Beach knew him. I mean, people in Palm Beach knew him. He was a fixture in Palm Beach. I had a falling out with him a long time ago. I don't think I've spoken to him for 15 years. I wasn't a fan. I was not, a long time ago. I'd say maybe 15 years. I was not a fan of his. That I can tell you. I was not a fan of his.
Every time someone asks Trump about his relationship with Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, there's been visible discomfort about explaining his closeness with him or sympathy towards her.
Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison, and a lot of people want to know if she's going to turn in powerful people. And I know you've talked in the past about Prince Andrew, and you've criticized Bill Clinton's behavior. I'm wondering, do you feel that she's going to turn in powerful men? How do you see that working out?
I don't know. I haven't really been following it too much. I just wish her well, frankly. I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, and I guess they lived in Palm Beach. But I wish her well, whatever it is. I don't know the situation with Prince Andrew. Just don't know. Not aware of it.
That had to be the first time that Donald Trump was unwilling to run with a tirade about someone convicted of these kinds of heinous crimes. If for nothing else, to make himself look like a crusader against child sex traffickers that MAGA likes to talk about without actually giving a damn about it. But when it came to the main culprit still alive, he wished her well. And supporters never asked why. They're just uncomfortable having to support a guy that they probably believe was involved, but not uncomfortable enough to stop.
Jeffrey Epstein and the things that he did. And, it turns out that Bill Clinton was on those planes and Hillary Clinton kind of looked the other way when he was with Jeffrey Epstein. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's bad. He was just an evil man, really. Jeffrey Epstein was. What Clinton did, I would guess that he is not proud of what he did.
And Trump, too, because Trump said that he wasn't involved, and then he said didn't know him, and that now it turns out that he did.
Yeah, that was all a bad outfit.
It's just a bad outfit. That's all they can say to avoid talking about it any further. Because if nothing else, MAGA should wonder why at one point Trump famously called Epstein a terrific guy that's a lot of fun to be around, that he even likes beautiful women as much as Trump does, many of them on the younger side. So to answer Fox and Friends' question about declassifying the Epstein files, the answer was a drawn-out and scared line about not wanting to affect people's lives with phony stuff in there. We know he's not concerned about any phony stuff in there that could take some people down, whose names did pop up.
Do you really think the Clintons are involved in Jeffrey Epstein's death? I have no idea. I know he was on his plane 27 times, and he said he was on the plane 4 times. But when they checked the plane log, Bill Clinton, who was a very good friend of Epstein, he was on the plane about 27 or 28 times. So why did he say 4 times? And then the question you have to ask is, did Bill Clinton go to the island? Because Epstein had an island. That was not a good place, as I understand it, and I was never there. So you have to ask, did Bill Clinton go to the island? That's the question. If you find that out, you're going to know a lot.
So whose life is he concerned with affecting? Especially since Trump's list of fantastic people he's connected to always seem to be pretty horrible people.
I was able to do a great job with Kim Jong-un. You might have heard of him. I used to call him Little Rocket Man, but he became somebody that we actually got along with very well. He'd love to see me back. We had a very good relationship. When the press hears I have a relationship with Kim Jong-un or any of them, they said, it's terrible.
I was really being tough, and so was he. And we would go back and forth, and then we fell in love, okay? No, really. He wrote me beautiful letters, and they're great letters. We fell in love.
Viktor Orban, did you ever hear of him? Prime Minister of Hungary. Very tough guy, known as a strong man. Oh, they hate it when I talk about him because they say he's a strong man. And they asked him, why is it that the whole world is blowing up? He said, one simple reason, Trump is not president in the United States. He said, you put Trump back as president and the whole world is going to get better. He said, this is genius. Putin declares a big portion of the Ukraine. Putin declares it as independent. Oh, that's wonderful. So Putin is now saying it's independent, a large section of Ukraine. I said, how smart is that? And he's going to go in and be a peacekeeper. That's the strongest peace force. We could use that on our southern border.